Episode 1, The Mask Slips. Ellie woke up to the sound of her mom sobbing in the kitchen. Not the soft, sniffly kind of crying you could ignore, but the loud, guttural kind that made your stomach twist. She rolled over, pulled the pillow over her head, and counted to 10. It didn't stop. She could hear her dad muttering something about bills, about the bank, about how they were screwed. Great way to start a Monday, right? She kicked off the blankets, her bare feet hitting the cold floor of their shitty rental house, the one they'd moved into 3 months ago after the foreclosure. The one nobody at school knew about. Yet. She shuffled to the bathroom, avoiding the mirror. She didn't need to see the bags under her eyes or the way her hair was starting to look like it hadn't seen a proper cut in too long. She brushed her teeth, threw on a hoodie, and grabbed her backpack. No time for breakfast. Not that there was much to eat anyway. A half-empty box of stale cereal and some questionable milk didn't exactly scream luxury. She slipped out the back door before her mom could ask her to stay and talk. Talking wasn't going to fix this. The walk to school was a gauntlet of normalcy she had to fake her way through. Past the big houses with their manicured lawns, past the moms in yoga pants jogging with their dogs, past the life she used to have. She kept her head down, earbuds in, even though the left one had stopped working weeks ago. She couldn't replace them. Not anymore. By the time she hit the front steps of Jefferson High, she'd plastered on her game face. The one that said she was still Ellie Hartman, queen of the junior class, the girl who threw the best parties and never showed up in anything less than perfect. Except today, her sneakers were knockoffs, and her bag was some thrift store find she tried to pass off as vintage. Close enough, she told herself. Nobody would notice. Except someone did. 2 minutes into first period, sitting at her usual spot near the window, she felt eyes on her. Jake Miller, the guy who'd been orbiting her since freshman year, was staring. Not at her face, though. At her feet. She shifted, crossing her legs, but it was too late. He leaned over, his voice low but sharp enough to cut through the hum of pre-class chatter. "Ellie, what's with the shoes? Did you, lose a bet or something?" She forced a laugh, loud and bright, the kind that usually shut people up. "Oh my God, Jake, you're such a creep. What, are you starting a foot fetish club now?" A couple kids nearby snickered, and he flushed, leaning back in his seat. Crisis averted. For now. But her heart was hammering, and her palms were slick. She glanced down at the sneakers. They weren't that bad, were they? Just a little scuffed. A little too white where the brand logo should have been. She tugged her hoodie sleeves over her hands and stared at the whiteboard, pretending to care about trig. "Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me." Class dragged on, but the real test came at lunch. The cafeteria was a battlefield, all cliques and noise and unspoken rules. Ellie slid into her usual spot at the center table, Sarah on her left, Lucy chattering away on her right. Sarah was her best friend, the one who'd stuck by her since they were kids trading glitter pens. Lucy was newer, sharper, the kind of girl who smiled while she sized you up. Ellie liked her edge, usually. Today, though, Lucy's eyes kept flicking to Ellie's bag. The one she'd left at home last week, claiming she was over it. The one she couldn't replace because it was a $300 status symbol her mom had sold on eBay to pay the electric bill. "So, Ellie," Lucy said, popping a grape into her mouth, "where's that cute little crossbody you were obsessed with? Did it finally die on you?" Her tone was light, but there was a glint in her eye Ellie didn't trust. Sarah shot her a look, like what's her deal? Ellie shrugged, keeping it casual. "Yeah, I'm over that vibe. Too basic. I'm into bigger stuff now." She gestured vaguely at her backpack, praying nobody asked to see inside. It was empty except for a cracked phone, a notebook, and a granola bar she'd swiped from the gas station last week. Not exactly high fashion. Lucy smirked, but Sarah jumped in, bless her. "Oh, totally. Ellie's always ahead of the trends." Remember when she started the whole bucket hat thing last year? The table laughed, and the moment passed. Ellie exhaled, sipping her water, pretending it was enough to fill the gnawing hole in her stomach. She hadn't eaten since yesterday's dinner, mac and cheese from a box, split 3 ways. But she smiled, nodded, kept up the act. She had to. The bell rang, and she bolted for the bathroom, locking herself in a stall. She needed a minute. Just one. Her phone buzzed, a text from her dad. "Bank's calling again. Don't tell Mom I said that." She deleted it, her fingers trembling. How long could she keep this up? The lies were piling up like dirty laundry, and she was running out of ways to hide the smell. She splashed water on her face, fixed her ponytail, and stepped back into the hall. That's when she saw it. Jake, leaning against the lockers, talking to Tommy, the quiet kid who always had his nose in a book. Jake's eyes flicked to her, then back to Tommy, and she caught the tail end of his sentence. "Swear, something's up with her." Tommy glanced her way, his expression unreadable, and Ellie's gut twisted. She flashed a grin, waved like nothing was wrong, and kept walking. But her legs felt like jelly, and her mind was racing. Jake was onto her. Maybe not the whole truth, but enough to start sniffing around. And if he dug too deep, if he found out about the house, the car, the way her mom cried herself to sleep every night. She made it to her next class, sliding into her seat just as the teacher started droning on about the Civil War. History was her favorite, usually. Today, it was just noise. Her phone buzzed again, this time a group chat ping. Lucy had posted a meme, a cartoon of a girl tripping over a pile of fake designer bags, caption "When your flex falls flat." No names, but Ellie knew. She knew it was for her. She shoved the phone into her pocket, her nails digging into her palms. The mask was slipping, and she wasn't sure how much longer she could hold it up. Not when the vultures were already circling. Episode 2, Whisper in the Halls. Ellie didn't sleep much that night. Her brain wouldn't shut off, replaying Jake's smirk, Lucy's meme, the way Tommy's eyes lingered like he was trying to solve a puzzle. She lay there in the dark, the rental house creaking around her, her mom's snores cutting through the thin walls. By the time the alarm screamed at 6, she felt like she'd run a marathon in her head. She dragged herself up, threw on yesterday's hoodie, and checked her phone. Another text from her dad. "Don't forget to grab milk on your way home. We're out." She almost laughed. Milk? With what money? She didn't reply. The walk to school felt longer today, heavier. The air was crisp, October biting at her fingertips, and she shoved her hands deep into her pockets. No gloves this year. No new fall wardrobe either. She used to love this season, pumpkin spice lattes, cozy scarves, showing off her latest boots. Now it was just a reminder of everything she couldn't have. She kept her head down, dodging the usual morning crowd, until she hit the school parking lot. That's when she saw it. Sarah's car, a shiny blue SUV her parents got her for her 16th birthday, pulling in with Lucy riding shotgun. Ellie's stomach flipped. She used to be the one in that seat. She ducked into the building before they could spot her, weaving through the halls to her locker. The buzz was already starting, kids laughing, lockers slamming, the hum of gossip she couldn't quite tune out. She spun the combination, yanked the door open, and froze. A note fluttered out, landing at her feet. Plain paper, folded once, no name. She snatched it up, her pulse kicking hard, and unfolded it. "Heard your mom's shopping secondhand now." Rough. No signature, but the handwriting was sharp, deliberate. Lucy's? Jake's? She crumpled it, shoved it into her pocket, and slammed the locker shut. Someone was watching her. Someone new. Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me. First period was a blur. Ellie sat in the back, doodling in her notebook, trying to keep her face blank. But the whispers were louder now, slithering through the room like smoke. She caught snippets: thrift store, Ellie's mom, did you hear? Her cheeks burned, but she didn't look up. Couldn't. If she did, they'd see the panic clawing at her throat. The bell rang, and she bolted, head down, aiming for the bathroom. She needed a second to breathe. Except Sarah was waiting for her outside the door, arms crossed, her brown eyes narrowing. "Ellie, what's going on?" Sarah's voice was soft but firm, the kind of tone she used when she wasn't letting you whittle out. Ellie forced a grin, leaning against the wall like it was no big deal. "What do you mean?" "I'm fine. Just tired." Sarah didn't buy it. She stepped closer, dropping her voice. "People are saying stuff. Like, weird stuff. About your mom at Goodwill or something? Is that true?" Ellie's heart stopped, then kicked into overdrive. She laughed, loud and fake, waving her hand. "Oh my God, Sarah, you're so gullible. My mom? At Goodwill? She was probably just, like, donating old crap. You know how she is about clutter." Sarah squinted, her lips parting like she wanted to push, but Ellie cut her off. "Gotta pee. Catch you at lunch." She ducked into the bathroom, locking herself in a stall, and pressed her forehead against the cool metal door. Her hands were shaking. Sarah was too close. Too smart. She'd figure it out if Ellie slipped again. And that note, who the hell wrote it? She pulled it out, smoothed the creases, and stared at the words. "Rough." "Yeah, no kidding." Lunch was worse. Ellie sat at the table, picking at a dry sandwich she'd made from the last slice of bread at home. Sarah was quiet, watching her. Lucy was loud, as usual, tossing her hair and scrolling her phone. Then she smirked, holding up the screen. "Oh my God, you guys, look at this. Some lady got caught trying to return a dress with the tags still on at TJ Maxx. Total trash move." She flicked her eyes to Ellie, just for a second, and Ellie's gut twisted. Was that a dig? Or was she paranoid? She took a bite of the sandwich, chewing slow, forcing her face to stay neutral. Sarah nudged her under the table. "You okay? You're, like, super quiet." Ellie nodded, swallowing hard. "Yeah, just zoning out. Trig's frying my brain." The lie worked, sort of. Sarah smiled, but Lucy kept staring, like a cat waiting for a mouse to twitch. Ellie excused herself, mumbling about homework, and headed for the library. She needed air, space, something. She didn't make it far. Jake was in the hall, leaning against a locker, talking to a couple of his buddies. He spotted her, and his grin widened. "Hey, Ellie." Loving the new minimalist look. Very, budget chic. His friends laughed, and Ellie felt the heat crawl up her neck. She flipped him off, keeping her stride steady. "Eat shit, Jake. Not everyone's obsessed with flexing." He called after her, but she didn't turn back. The library was quiet, a sanctuary, and she sank into a chair in the corner, pulling her hoodie up. Her phone buzzed. Another text from her dad. "They're towing the car tomorrow. Don't tell Mom." She deleted it, her chest tightening. The car. The last piece of their old life, gone. She'd been telling everyone it was in the shop. How long could she stretch that lie? Not long, if Jake and Lucy were already sniffing around. In that note, someone had seen her mom. Someone was talking. She stayed in the library through last period, skipping bio. She couldn't face the stares, the questions. When the final bell rang, she slipped out the side door, avoiding the parking lot where Sarah and Lucy would be. The walk home was silent, her earbuds useless now, the right one had died too. She kicked a rock down the sidewalk, her mind spinning. The note. The whispers. Jake's jab. It was all closing in, and she didn't know how to stop it. She turned the corner to her street, and her breath caught. A tow truck was pulling away, her mom's silver sedan hooked to the back. Her mom stood on the porch, hands over her face, sobbing again. Ellie stopped, rooted to the spot. If anyone saw this, if anyone snapped a pic. Her phone buzzed one last time. A group chat notification. She didn't open it. She didn't need to. The whispers were about to turn into a scream. Episode 3, The Pawnshop Clue. Ellie didn't go inside right away. She stood there on the sidewalk, watching the tow truck disappear around the corner with her mom's car, the last shred of their old life dangling from its hook. Her mom was still on the porch, a crumpled mess, her shoulders shaking. Ellie's throat burned, but she swallowed it down. No point in crying now. She turned away, pulling her hoodie tighter, and started walking. She didn't know where she was going, just that she couldn't face her mom's tears or the empty fridge waiting inside. Her phone stayed silent in her pocket. She didn't dare check the group chat. Not yet. The sun was dipping low, casting long shadows over the cracked pavement. She ended up downtown, past the diner where she used to grab milkshakes with Sarah, past the boutique where she'd blown her allowance on jeans she didn't need. Now she was broke, and those jeans were probably in some resale bin. Her feet stopped outside a dingy storefront she'd never noticed before. Cash for gold, the sign read, neon flickering like it was on its last legs. She stared at it, her breath fogging in the chilly air. Then she remembered the necklace. The little silver heart her grandma gave her before she died. It was tucked in her sock drawer, the only thing she hadn't let her parents sell. Yet. She pushed the door open, the bell jangling too loud. The guy behind the counter looked up, his beard scruffy, his eyes bored. "What you got?" he grunted, barely glancing at her. Ellie hesitated, then pulled the necklace from her pocket. She'd grabbed it before school, just in case. She didn't know why. Maybe she'd known it had come to this. "How much for this?" she asked, her voice steadier than she felt. He took it, squinting, turning it over in his thick fingers. "Real silver. $50. $50. Enough for milk, bread, maybe a week of pretending things weren't falling apart." She nodded, and he slid the cash across the counter. She stuffed it in her pocket, the weight of it cold against her hip, and walked out without looking back. "Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me." She didn't see Lucy until it was too late. She was halfway down the block, head down, when a familiar laugh cut through the quiet. Ellie froze, glancing up. There she was, Lucy, leaning against a lamppost, her phone out, texting someone. Her eyes flicked to Ellie, and that smirk spread slow and sharp across her face. "Ellie Hartman, is that you? What's a girl like you doing in this dump?" Her voice was sugar-laced with venom, and Ellie's stomach dropped. She shoved her hands deeper into her pockets, the cash crinkling against her fingers. "Just walking, Lucy." "Not everything's a conspiracy," she said, forcing a shrug. Lucy tilted her head, stepping closer. "Funny place to walk. Didn't you just come out of that pawn shop? What, selling your crown jewels already?" Ellie's heart slammed against her ribs, but she laughed, loud and brittle. "Oh my God, you're obsessed. I was just checking it out. Thinking of getting Sarah something tacky for her birthday." Lucy's eyes narrowed, like she didn't buy it, but she didn't push. "Not yet." She tapped her phone screen, still smirking. "Whatever you say, princess. See you tomorrow." She sauntered off, hips swaying, and Ellie waited until she was out of sight before letting out the breath she'd been holding. Shit. Lucy saw her. Lucy knew something. And Lucy didn't keep her mouth shut. The walk home was a blur. Ellie stopped at the corner store, grabbed milk and a loaf of bread, and handed over a crumpled 10 from the pawnshop cash. Her mom was in the kitchen when she got back, stirring something that smelled like desperation, canned soup, probably. She didn't ask about the car. Didn't mention the tow truck. Just set the milk on the counter and mumbled, "I'm not hungry," before heading to her room. She locked the door, sank onto her bed, and finally checked her phone. The group chat was alive, buzzing like a kicked hive. A blurry pic of the tow truck, her house in the background, her mom's silhouette on the porch. No caption, just a string of laughing emojis from Jake. Then Lucy's reply, "Guess the Hartmans are downsizing." Sarah had typed "Guys, stop," but it was buried under more jabs. Ellie's hands shook as she scrolled, her chest tight. She wanted to scream, to throw the phone, to tell them all to go to hell. But she didn't. She turned it off, shoved it under her pillow, and stared at the ceiling. Sleep didn't come easy, but when it did, it was restless, full of dreams about locked doors and falling floors. The next morning, she dragged herself to school, her eyes gritty, her stomach growling. She'd skipped breakfast again. No time, no appetite. The halls were louder than usual, or maybe it just felt that way. Eyes followed her, whispers trailed her like shadows. She kept her chin up, her stride steady, but inside she was crumbling. Bio class was her undoing. She slid into her seat, avoiding Sarah's worried glance from across the room. Tommy was there too, scribbling in his notebook, his dark hair flopping over his eyes. He didn't look at her, but she felt his presence, quiet and steady. Then Jake walked in, late as usual, and dropped into the seat behind her. He leaned forward, his breath hot on her neck. "Hey, Ellie, heard you're carpooling now. Need a ride?" She clenched her jaw, didn't turn around. "Fuck off, Jake," she muttered, low enough the teacher wouldn't hear. He chuckled, leaning back. "Touchy. Guess losing everything'll do that to you." She snapped. Not loud, not dramatic, just a quick twist in her seat, her eyes blazing into his. "You don't know shit, so keep your mouth shut." He blinked, surprised, then grinned wider. "Oh, I know plenty. We all do." The bell saved her, and she was out the door before he could say more. But the damage was done. The whispers were a roar now, and she couldn't outrun them. She skipped lunch, hid in the library again, her fingers tracing the edge of the $40 still in her pocket. It wouldn't buy her way out of this. Her phone buzzed. A text, not the group chat. Unknown number. "Check your locker." She frowned, her pulse kicking up. She didn't want to. Didn't trust it. But curiosity won. She slipped into the hall, the after-lunch crowd thinning out, and opened her locker. Another note, same sharp handwriting. "Pawnshop Princess." What's next? She stared at it, her blood running cold. Someone was playing with her, and they weren't done yet. Episode 4, Crumbs of Truth. Ellie stood there, the note trembling in her hand, her locker door still swinging open. Pawnshop Princess. What's next? The words burned into her brain, sharp and mocking, like whoever wrote it was laughing right behind her. She spun around, half expecting to see Lucy's smirk or Jake's smug grin, but the hall was empty. Just the echo of lockers slamming and sneakers squeaking as kids shuffled to class. She crumpled the note, shoved it into her backpack, and slammed the locker shut hard enough to make her own ears ring. Her chest was tight, her breath shallow. She was a rat in a maze, and someone kept moving the walls. She skipped last period. Couldn't sit through Spanish with everyone staring, whispering, waiting for her to crack. She slipped out the side exit, the cold October air hitting her like a slap. She walked fast, no plan, just needing distance. Her phone buzzed again, Sarah this time. "Where are you? You okay?" Ellie didn't answer. Sarah meant well, but she didn't get it. Nobody did. She turned the corner, past the gas station where she'd swiped that granola bar last week, and stopped. The pawnshop loomed ahead, its neon sign buzzing faintly. She didn't go in. Didn't need to. The $50 was still in her pocket, minus the 10 she'd spent. It wasn't enough to fix anything, just enough to keep the lie limping along. Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me. Back home, the house was a war zone. Not the loud kind with yelling, her parents were past that. It was the quiet kind, the kind that seeps into your bones. Her mom was on the couch, staring at a TV that wasn't even on, a glass of water shaking in her hand. Her dad was at the kitchen table, bills spread out like a losing poker hand. Ellie dropped her backpack by the door, the thud loud in the silence. "Hey," she mumbled, heading for the fridge. Empty, except for the milk and bread she'd bought. She grabbed a slice, tore off a piece, and chewed it dry. Her dad looked up, his eyes red-rimmed. "Ellie, we need to talk." She froze, the bread sticking in her throat. "About what?" she asked, keeping her voice flat. He sighed, rubbing his face. "The car's gone. You saw. And the bank, they're not giving us more time. We're moving again. Smaller place." Her stomach dropped. Smaller than this? This was already a downgrade, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, walls so thin she could hear her mom's nightmares. She didn't say that. Just nodded, like it didn't matter. "Okay. Cool." Her dad frowned, but she didn't stick around for the rest. She grabbed her backpack and bolted to her room, locking the door. Moving again. Another secret to bury. She flopped onto her bed, staring at the ceiling, the bread still in her hand. Her phone buzzed. She ignored it. Then it buzzed again. And again. She groaned, fishing it out. The group chat was on fire. A new pic, her house, the foreclosure sign barely visible in the dusk. Caption from Lucy, "Guess who's slumming it now?" Jake had added a crying emoji. Sarah hadn't replied. Ellie's hands shook as she scrolled, her breath hitching. "How? Who took that?" She hadn't seen anyone last night, but the tow truck, someone must have been there, lurking. She deleted the app, her fingers clumsy, like that'd make it go away. It wouldn't. She knew it wouldn't. School tomorrow was going to be a slaughterhouse, and she'd be the pig. She rolled over, burying her face in the pillow, when the yelling started. Her parents, finally breaking the silence. "We can't keep doing this, Don," her mom shouted, her voice cracking. "You said you'd fix it." Her dad snapped back, "I'm trying, Kate." "What do you want me to do, rob a bank?" Ellie pulled the pillow tighter over her ears, but it didn't block the sound of her mom sobbing again, or her dad slamming something, a chair, maybe, against the floor. She didn't sleep. Couldn't. By morning, her eyes were sandpaper, her head pounding. She dragged herself to school anyway, because hiding would only make it worse. The halls were a gauntlet, worse than yesterday. Kids stared, some smirked, a few looked away like they felt bad. She kept her hood up, her jaw tight, and made it to first period. Jake was waiting, leaning back in his chair, his grin wide as a shark's. "Morning, Ellie." Loving the new vibe. Very, humbled. She slid into her seat, ignoring him, but he kept going. "Heard about the house. Tough break. You taking donations yet?" She turned, slow, her eyes locking on his. "Jake, I swear to God, if you don't shut up, I'll shove that chair so far up your ass you'll taste wood." He blinked, then laughed, loud and fake. Feisty. Love it. The teacher walked in, saving her from saying more, but the damage was done. Her hands were fists under the desk, nails digging into her palms. She barely heard the lesson, her mind spinning. The note. The pic. Jake's taunts. It was all connected, but how? Who was feeding him? Lucy? Someone else? She glanced at Tommy, scribbling in his corner, his face blank. He hadn't said a word about any of it. Weird, but she didn't have time to figure him out. Lunch was next, and she wasn't ready. She skipped the cafeteria, heading for the library again, but Sarah caught her in the hall. "Ellie, stop," Sarah said, grabbing her arm. Her voice was shaky, her eyes wide. "What's happening? That pic, is it real?" Ellie yanked her arm free, her throat tight. "It's nothing, Sarah. Just assholes being assholes. Drop it." Sarah stepped closer, whispering, "I saw your mom yesterday. At the thrift store. She wasn't donating." Ellie's blood went cold. She stared at Sarah, her best friend, the one person she'd trusted not to pry. "You're spying on me now," she hissed, stepping back. Sarah shook her head, desperate. "No. I was just there, and I saw her, in." "Ellie, talk to me." But Ellie was done. She turned, walking away, her heart hammering. Sarah knew. Sarah saw. The mask wasn't just slipping, it was shattering. She made it to the library, sank into a chair, and pulled out her phone. Another buzz. Another pic, this time from an unknown number. The tow truck, her mom on the porch, clear as day. No caption, just a winking emoji. She stared at it, her hands ice cold. Someone was out there, watching, waiting. And they weren't done dropping crumbs. Episode 5, The Birthday Bust. Ellie didn't talk to Sarah for the rest of the week. She couldn't. Every time she saw her in the hall, those big worried eyes begging for answers, Ellie's stomach twisted into knots. Sarah had seen too much, said too much, and now there was a wall between them, cold and solid. Ellie kept her head down, her hood up, dodging the whispers and the stares. The pics kept coming, tow truck, foreclosure sign, her mom's blurry figure, all from that damn unknown number. She blocked it, but a new one popped up, like a hydra growing heads. Someone was screwing with her, and she was running out of places to hide. Friday hit, and with it came Sarah's birthday. The big 17. Normally, Ellie would have been all over it, planning the party, picking the playlist, showing up with a gift that'd make everyone jealous. This year, she had nothing. No cash, no ideas, no energy. She'd RSVP'd weeks ago, back when the lie was still holding, so skipping wasn't an option. Sarah's house was a 20-minute walk, and Ellie trudged it, the $40 from the pawn shop burning a hole in her pocket. She thought about spending it, maybe a cheap necklace, something to fake her way through, but she couldn't. Not when her mom was rationing soup cans like they were gold. Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me. Sarah's place was lit up like a carnival when Ellie got there. Music thumped through the walls, cars lined the street, and kids spilled onto the lawn, red cups in hand. She slipped in through the side gate, avoiding the front door where Lucy and Jake were probably holding court. The backyard was packed, string lights swaying, a bonfire crackling, Sarah in the middle of it all, laughing in a sparkly dress. Ellie hung back, leaning against a tree, her hoodie a shield. She spotted Tommy near the fire, nursing a soda, his eyes scanning the crowd. He saw her, nodded once, then looked away. Weird kid. Quiet, but not dumb. She wondered what he knew. Sarah found her 10 minutes in, her smile faltering when she saw Ellie's empty hands. "You made it." "I was worried you'd bail," she said, pulling Ellie into a hug. Ellie stiffened, the guilt biting hard, but hugged back. "Yeah, wouldn't miss it," she mumbled, stepping away. Sarah's eyes flicked over her, no gift, no sparkle, just a hoodie and scuffed sneakers. "Where's your present?" "You always go big," Sarah teased, but there was a question in it. Ellie shrugged, forcing a grin. "It's, coming later. Surprise delivery. You'll love it." The lie tasted sour, and Sarah's frown said she wasn't buying it. Lucy swooped in before it got worse, her voice cutting through the noise. "Ellie! You're here. No fancy bag tonight?" "Oh wait, I forgot, you're on a budget now." She laughed, loud and sharp, and a few heads turned. Ellie's face burned, but she fired back, "Lucy, you're so obsessed with me, it's cute. Get a hobby." Lucy smirked, sipping her drink, but didn't push. "Not yet." Jake joined the circle, his grin wide. "Hey, birthday girl, Ellie's gift's probably a coupon for thrift store chic." "Right, Ellie?" She clenched her fists, her nails digging in. "Jake, your face is a gift to nobody." "Shut it." The night spiraled from there. Ellie stuck to the edges, sipping water from a cup she'd grabbed to blend in. The bonfire crackled, the air thick with smoke and laughter, but she felt like a ghost. Sarah kept glancing her way, worried, and Ellie hated it. Then the cake came out, huge, 3 tiers, candles blazing, and everyone crowded around. Sarah's mom called for pics, and Ellie ducked back, avoiding the flash. That's when Lucy struck. She climbed onto a chair, cup raised, her voice booming. "Hey, everyone! Quick toast to Sarah, and to Ellie, our resident broke-ass princess. Cheers to downsizing." The crowd went quiet, then erupted. Laughs, gasps, a few oh shits. Ellie froze, her cup slipping from her hand, splashing water down her leg. Sarah's face went white, her mouth open. Jake was howling, slapping his knee. Tommy's eyes flicked to Ellie, steady, unreadable. She wanted to run, to scream, to punch Lucy's perfect teeth in. Instead, she laughed. Loud, fake, cutting through the noise. "Oh my God, Lucy, you're so dramatic. Get over yourself." "I'm fine. We're all fine." She turned, shoving through the crowd, her heart slamming against her ribs. Sarah called after her, "Ellie, wait," but she didn't stop. She made it to the street, the cool night air hitting her like a lifeline. Her hands shook as she pulled out her phone. The group chat was already lighting up, pics of her at the party, hoodie and all, captioned "Budget Queen Strikes Again." She deleted it, her breath hitching. Footsteps crunched behind her, and she spun, expecting Sarah. It was Tommy. He stopped, hands in his pockets, his voice low. "You okay, Ellie?" She stared at him, caught off guard. "Why do you care?" she snapped, harsher than she meant. He shrugged, not fazed. "Just do." That was bullshit back there. She didn't know what to say, so she didn't. He nodded, like that was enough, and walked off into the dark. Ellie stood there, alone, the party's hum fading behind her. Her phone buzzed again. Another unknown number. A blurry pic, her at the pawnshop, necklace in hand, time-stamped yesterday. No text, just a crown emoji. Her knees buckled, but she caught herself. Lucy's toast wasn't a guess. Someone had proof, and they'd just lit the match. She started walking home, the $40 still in her pocket, useless now. The mask was gone, and the fire was spreading. Episode 6, Fallout and Fakes. Ellie didn't sleep after Sarah's party. She couldn't. The walk home had been a haze, her sneakers scuffing the pavement, the pawnshop pic burning a hole in her phone. She'd locked herself in her room, the house quiet for once, no sobbing, no yelling, just the hum of the fridge struggling to stay alive. She sat on her bed, knees pulled up, staring at the screen. That crown emoji mocked her, a tiny digital jab that felt like a fist. She blocked the number, but she knew it wouldn't stop. Whoever was behind this had her scent now, and they weren't letting go. Morning came too fast. She dragged herself to the bathroom, splashed water on her face, and avoided the mirror. Her eyes were bloodshot, her hair a mess, but she didn't care. She threw on the same hoodie, stale with yesterday's sweat, and headed out. School was a minefield now, but skipping wasn't an option. Her parents would notice, and she couldn't handle their questions. Not today. The walk was brutal, the cold biting at her knuckles, her breath fogging in the gray dawn. She kept her earbuds in, even though they were dead, a shield against the world. Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me. The halls were a circus when she got there. Kids clustered in knots, phones out, voices buzzing. She caught her name in the mix, Ellie, broke, party, and her stomach churned. She kept moving, head down, aiming for her locker. That's when she saw it. Someone had taped a dollar bill to the metal, a sloppy crown drawn on it in marker. Pawnshop Princess scrawled underneath. Her hand shook as she ripped it off, the paper tearing, kids snickering behind her. She shoved it into her pocket, her face hot, and slammed the locker open. Another note slid out. Nice try at the party. Liar. Same sharp handwriting. She crumpled it, her nails digging into her palms, and stuffed it with the rest. First period was hell. Jake was there, sprawled in his seat, grinning like he'd won something. "Morning, Ellie. Survive the bonfire?" "Heard you made quite the exit," he said, loud enough for the room to hear. She slid into her chair, jaw tight. "Jake, you're so boring." "Find a new hobby," she muttered, but her voice cracked, and he pounced. "Ah, don't be mad. We're all just adjusting to the new you." Laughter rippled around them, and she stared at her desk, counting the scratches in the wood until the teacher started talking. Lunch was worse. She didn't go to the cafeteria, couldn't face Sarah's pity or Lucy's claws. She headed for the library, her safe spot, but Tommy was there, sitting at her usual table. He looked up, his dark eyes steady, and nodded her over. She hesitated, then dropped into the chair across from him. "What's your deal, Tommy?" she asked, her voice low, sharp. He shrugged, flipping a page in his book. "No deal. Just don't like seeing people get shit on for no reason." She snorted, leaning back. "Yeah, well, too late for that. Everyone knows now." He met her gaze, unflinching. "Not everything. They're just guessing. You're still holding the cards." She blinked, thrown. He didn't push, just went back to his book, but his words stuck. "Cards? What cards?" She had nothing, no money, no secrets left, just a hoodie and a crumbling lie. Still, he didn't pity her, didn't pry. It was weird. Nice, maybe. She pulled out her phone, scrolling the group chat she'd muted. More pics, her at the party, her house, even a grainy shot of her mom at the thrift store. Lucy's caption, "Royalties fallen hard." Sarah had replied, "Stop it, guys, seriously," but it was drowned in laughing emojis. Ellie's throat tightened. She shoved the phone away, her hands clammy. The day dragged, but after school, she couldn't go home. Not yet. She wandered to the bleachers, the football field empty, the air crisp. She climbed to the top row, sat, and let the quiet sink in. That's when Tommy showed up again, climbing the steps slow, like he'd known she'd be there. He sat a row below, not looking at her. "You're stalking me now," she said, half joking, half pissed. He smirked, faint. "Nah. Just needed air. You looked like you did too." She didn't argue. They sat in silence, the wind rustling the trees, until he spoke again. "Lucy's a snake. Watch her." Ellie frowned, turning to him. "What do you know?" He shrugged. "Enough. She's not just guessing. Someone's feeding her." Her pulse kicked up. "Who?" she pressed, but he shook his head. "Dunno yet. Just, be careful." He stood, ready to leave, but stopped. "Oh, and check your locker tomorrow. Left you something." He walked off, hands in his pockets, leaving her staring after him. What the hell was that? She didn't trust him, not fully, but he was the only one not laughing in her face. She stayed on the bleachers until the sun dipped low, her mind spinning. Lucy. A feeder. Tommy's warning. It was a puzzle, and she was missing pieces. She got home late, the house dark except for a lamp flickering in the living room. Her mom was asleep on the couch, an empty soup can on the table. Her dad was gone, working late, probably. Ellie grabbed the last slice of bread, ate it standing in the kitchen, and checked her phone. Another pic, this time from the bleachers, her and Tommy, backs to the camera. No caption, just a snake emoji. Her blood ran cold. Someone had followed her. She locked her door that night, but sleep didn't come. Morning brought a text from her mom. "Car's gone for good. Don't tell your friends. Too late for that. Way too late." She dragged herself to school, her stomach a knot. The halls were quieter today, the buzz settling into a dull hum. She hit her locker, Tommy's words echoing. She opened it slow, half expecting another taunt. Instead, A folded paper slid out, no sharp handwriting, just a messy scrawl. You're not alone. Meet me at the field after school. No name, but she knew. Tommy. She stared at it, her breath catching. A lifeline, maybe. Or a trap. Either way, she was in too deep to ignore it. Episode 7, The Betrayal Sting. Ellie held Tommy's note all day, the paper creased from her sweaty grip. You're not alone. It rattled around in her head, a lifeline she wasn't sure she could trust. She didn't know him, not really, just the quiet kid with the worn-out sneakers and the books he never let anyone see. But he'd been at the party, at the bleachers, always there when the shit hit the fan. She stuffed the note in her pocket, her fingers brushing the last $30 from the pawnshop. It felt heavier now, like a confession she couldn't shake. School was a slow bleed. The whispers had dulled, but the stares hadn't. Kids watched her like she was a car crash, messy, tragic, impossible to look away from. She kept her hood up, her jaw tight, dodging the group chat's latest barbs. Lucy had posted a meme, a crying princess with a cardboard crown, captioned Ellie's new throne room. Jake had piled on with a piggy bank emoji. Sarah stayed silent, and that hurt worse than the rest. Ellie skipped first period, hiding in the bathroom, her back against the stall door. She didn't cry. Couldn't. Tears were for people who still had something left to lose. Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me. Lunch was when it broke. She'd planned to skip again, head for the library, but Sarah cornered her in the hall. Her best friend's eyes were red, her voice shaky. Ellie, we need to talk. Now, she said, grabbing Ellie's arm. Ellie yanked free, her patience gone. What, Sarah? What's so urgent you can't text me like a normal person? Sarah flinched, but didn't back off. She pulled Ellie into an empty classroom, shutting the door. The air was thick, the silence heavier than the hum of the fluorescent lights. I messed up, Sarah started, her words tumbling out fast. I told Lucy about your mom. At the thrift store. I didn't mean to, it just slipped out, and she ran with it. I'm so sorry, Ellie. The confession hit like a punch, sharp and deep. Ellie stared at her, the room tilting. You, what? She whispered, her voice raw. Sarah's hands twisted together, her eyes wet. It was an accident. We were talking, and I mentioned seeing your mom, and Lucy kept pushing, and I didn't think she'd. Ellie cut her off, stepping back. You didn't think? Sarah, she's been shredding me all week. The pics, the notes, all of it, and you handed her the knife? Sarah's face crumpled. I didn't know she'd go that far. I tried to stop her, you saw me in the chat, Ellie laughed, bitter and loud. Oh, yeah, your little stop it, guys really saved me. Thanks for the effort. She turned, heading for the door, but Sarah grabbed her again. Ellie, please. You're my best friend. I'd never hurt you on purpose. Ellie spun, her eyes blazing. You did, though. You did, and now I'm the punchline. So congratulations, Sarah. Hope it was worth it. She shoved past her, the door banging shut behind her, Sarah's sob echoing in her ears. She didn't go to the library. Couldn't sit still. She wandered the halls, her head buzzing, until the final bell rang. Tommy's note pulled her to the field, her feet moving before her brain caught up. The bleachers were empty, the grass damp from last night's rain. He was there, leaning against the railing, his hoodie zipped up tight. He saw her, straightened, and nodded. You came, he said, his voice low, steady. Ellie crossed her arms, wary. Yeah, Tommy. What's this about? You gonna tell me you're sorry too? He smirked, faint, shaking his head. Nah. Not my style. Just figured you could use someone who's not a backstabbing asshole. She snorted, leaning against the bleacher beside him. Bold assumption. You don't even know me. He shrugged, kicking at the dirt. Know enough. Seen you take hits all week and keep walking. That's not nothing. She didn't reply, her throat tight. He was right, but it didn't feel like a win. It felt like surviving. They sat in silence, the wind picking up, until he spoke again. Lucy's not working alone. She's too lazy to dig this deep. Someone's pointing her at you. Ellie's head snapped up, her pulse racing. Sarah said she told her about my mom. That's how it started. Tommy frowned, his eyes narrowing. Maybe. But the pics? The notes? That's not just gossip. That's a hunt. Sarah's not that calculated. Ellie's stomach twisted. He was right. Sarah was sloppy, not cruel. Someone else was pulling strings. Before she could ask more, a horn blared. She turned, and her heart stopped. A repo truck was rolling down her street. She could see it from the field, her house just visible through the trees. Her dad's old pickup, the one he'd sworn they'd keep, was hooked up, dangling like a dead fish. Kids were already gathering, phones out, snapping pics. Ellie's legs went weak, but Tommy grabbed her arm, steadying her. Breathe, he said, firm. She did, barely, her vision blurring. They're gonna eat me alive tomorrow, she whispered, her voice breaking. He nodded, grim. Yeah. But you're not alone. Remember that. She pulled away, stumbling down the bleachers, her mind a mess. Sarah's betrayal, Tommy's lifeline, the truck hauling her life away, it was too much. She made it home, the house dark, her mom locked in her room. Her phone buzzed. Another pic, the pickup, her street, her shame. Caption from Lucy, royal carriage has left the building. Ellie threw the phone across the room, the crack loud in the silence. She sank to the floor, her back against the wall, and finally let the tears come. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet, hot streaks down her face. The sting was real now, and it wasn't letting go. Episode 8, Spotlight Burns. Ellie didn't pick up her phone that night. It lay there on the floor, screen cracked, buzzing like an angry wasp until the battery died. She stayed against the wall, knees up, her hoodie soaked with tears she hadn't meant to let fall. The house was a tomb, her mom silent behind her door, her dad still gone, probably chasing some dead-end job to keep the lights on. The repo truck's engine still echoed in her head, a low growl that wouldn't quit. She knew what tomorrow would bring. The pics were out there now, her dad's pickup dangling for the world to see. She was a meme, a punchline, a cautionary tale. Sleep didn't come, just a dull ache that settled in her bones. Morning hit like a brick. She dragged herself up, her body stiff, and threw on the same hoodie. No point in pretending anymore, the mask was ash. She skipped breakfast, nothing to eat anyway, and walked to school, the cold gnawing at her fingertips. The street was quiet, no tow trucks today, just the ghosts of yesterday's crowd. Her phone was dead in her pocket, a brick she didn't dare charge. She didn't need to see the damage. She could feel it in the air when she hit the school steps, the way kids parted, whispering, their eyes darting to her like she was contagious. Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me. The halls were a gauntlet. Lockers slammed, voices buzzed, and someone had taped a toy car to her locker with Hartman's last ride scribbled on it. She ripped it off, her hands shaking, and shoved her books inside. No notes today, just the weight of everyone watching. She made it to first period, sliding into her seat, her hood up. Jake was there, grinning like a jackal. Ellie, you're viral, babe. That repo vid's got, what, 1,000 views already, he said, loud, leaning forward. She didn't look at him, her voice flat. Jake, you're a walking STD. Go bother someone else. He laughed, but it was forced, and she felt a tiny spark of fight flicker back. The spark died at lunch. She didn't bother hiding this time, just marched to the cafeteria, daring them to stare. They did. Phones came out, whispers turned to giggles, and Lucy held court at the center table, her voice carrying. Oh, Ellie's here. Didn't think you'd show after your dad's little joyride got towed. Classy exit. Ellie stopped, her tray trembling in her hands, and turned. Lucy, you're so obsessed with my life, it's pathetic. What's next? You gonna stalk my trash cans? Lucy smirked, unfazed. Honey, I don't need to. You're leaving crumbs everywhere. The table laughed, and Ellie's tray hit the floor, apple rolling, water splashing. She didn't pick it up, just walked out, the noise chasing her. She made it to the bathroom, locked herself in a stall, and sank to the floor. Her breath came fast, her chest tight. The vid. 1,000 views. She hadn't seen it, but she could imagine it, her street, the truck, her dad's pickup swinging blueberries, her life reduced to a 15-second loop. She pressed her palms to her eyes, trying to breathe, when the door creaked open. Ellie? Sarah's voice, soft, hesitant. Ellie didn't move. Go away, Sarah, she muttered, her voice muffled. Sarah stepped closer, crouching. I saw the video. I'm so sorry. I didn't. Ellie cut her off, standing fast. Don't. Just don't. You started this, and now I'm a fucking joke. Leave me alone. Sarah's eyes welled up, but she nodded, backing out. Ellie stayed there, the silence worse than the noise. After school, she didn't go home. Couldn't face the empty house, the cracked phone, her mom's hollow stare. She went to the field, the bleachers her last refuge. Tommy was there, waiting, his hoodie zipped tight. He didn't say much, just sat beside her. Saw the vid, he said finally, his voice low. Rough. She snorted, bitter. Yeah. I'm a star now. He didn't laugh, just nodded. They'll move on. Always do. But Lucy's not done. She's got more. Ellie's head snapped up, her stomach dropping. What do you mean? He met her gaze, grim. Heard her bragging. She's got something big. Dunno what, but she's waiting to drop it. Ellie's blood ran cold. More? What else was there? The house, the car, her mom's breakdown, it was all out. What could Lucy have? She didn't ask, Tommy didn't know, and pushing wouldn't help. They sat there, the wind biting, until he stood. Come with me. Got an idea. She frowned, wary. What idea? He smirked, faint. Trust me. You need this. She didn't trust him, not fully, but she followed anyway, her legs heavy. He led her to the school's back lot, where a beat-up bike leaned against the wall. Borrowed it, he said, climbing on. Hop on. We're crashing Lucy's little victory lap. Ellie stared, then laughed, sharp and real. You're insane. He shrugged. Maybe. You in? She was. She climbed on, gripping his waist, and they peeled out, the wind ripping through her hair. For the first time in days, she felt alive. They hit Lucy's street, her house lit up, kids spilling out, another party, another throne for the queen. Tommy parked a block away, and they crept closer, sticking to the shadows. What's the plan? Ellie whispered, her pulse racing. He grinned, pulling a water balloon from his bag. Payback. Small, but sweet. She laughed again, the sound foreign, and took one. They edged up, aimed, and let loose, balloons bursting on Lucy's perfect hair, her scream piercing the night. Chaos erupted, kids scattering, and Ellie bolted, Tommy behind her, laughter bubbling out. It wasn't much, but it was something. A spark in the dark. Episode 9, The Rabbit Hole. Ellie didn't stop running until her lungs burned, her legs shaky under her. Tommy was right behind, his breath ragged but his grin wide, the bike rattling as he pushed it alongside. Lucy's scream still echoed in her ears, high and furious, water dripping down that perfect face. It wasn't a fix, nothing could erase the vid, the pics, the weeks of hell, but damn, it felt good. They ducked into an alley a few blocks from Lucy's house, the streetlights flickering, the night closing in. Ellie leaned against the brick wall, catching her breath, a laugh bubbling up. "That was stupid," she said, her voice hoarse. Tommy smirked, leaning the bike against the dumpster. "Yeah. Worth it, though." She nodded, the adrenaline still buzzing. For once, she wasn't the one bleeding. They stayed there, the quiet settling, until her phone buzzed in her pocket. She'd charged it that morning, dreading the flood, but this wasn't the group chat. Another unknown number. She hesitated, her gut twisting, then opened it. A blurry pic, her and Tommy on the bleachers yesterday, the repo truck faint in the background. Caption, "New boyfriend, new low." Her stomach dropped, the high crashing hard. "Shit," she muttered, showing him. He frowned, his jaw tightening. "They're fast. Too fast." She nodded, her hands cold. "Who's doing this?" "Lucy." Tommy shook his head, slow. "She's loud, not smart. Someone's feeding her the shots. We need to figure out who. Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me." They didn't go back to the party. Too risky. Instead, Tommy led her to the diner downtown, a greasy spoon with flickering neon and booths that smelled like old fries. They slid into a corner, the vinyl creaking, and split a plate of hash browns he paid for with crumpled fives. "My treat," he said, pushing the ketchup her way. She didn't argue, her $30 were still in her pocket, untouched, a lifeline she couldn't spend. They ate in silence at first, the clatter of dishes filling the space, until she broke it. "Why are you doing this, Tommy? Helping me? You don't owe me shit." He chewed slow, his eyes on the table. "Don't like bullies. Seen too many. Plus, you're not as fake as they think." She snorted, poking at a hash brown. "Gee, thanks. High praise." He grinned, faint, then leaned in, his voice low. "Seriously, though. Lucy's got a puppet master. The pics, the timing, it's too clean. We gotta dig." Ellie nodded, her mind racing. "Sarah said she spilled to Lucy about my mom. Could be her start, but you're right, the rest feels bigger." Tommy tapped the table, thinking. "Who else knows your moves? Who's close enough to snap these?" She frowned, running through names. Sarah, sure, but she'd sworn it was a slip. Jake? He was a dick, but not this sneaky. Lucy's crew? Maybe. "I don't know," she admitted, frustrated. "Everyone's got a phone. Could be anyone." Tommy pulled out his own phone, an old crack thing, and scrolled. "Found something last night. Look." He showed her a screenshot, Lucy's Instagram story from a week ago, a selfie outside the thrift store, timestamped the same day Sarah saw Ellie's mom. No caption, just a winking emoji. Ellie's pulse kicked up. She was there. She didn't just hear it from Sarah, she saw it. Tommy nodded, grim. "Yeah. And she's been tailing you since. But the pawn shop? The repo? Someone's tipping her off." Ellie's head spun. A tipster. Someone watching her every fall, handing Lucy the ammo. She felt sick, the hash browns turning to lead in her stomach. They left the diner, the night colder now, the streets empty. Tommy walked her halfway home, the bike rattling between them. "Meet me tomorrow," he said, pausing at her corner. "Library, after lunch. We'll figure this out." She nodded, too tired to argue, and watched him roll off into the dark. She got home, the house silent, her mom's door shut. She checked her phone, more group chat noise, Lucy whining about her ruined hair, no mention of the balloons. Good. She plugged it in, ready to crash, when it rang. Her mom's name flashed, and Ellie's heart stopped. She answered, her voice shaky. "Mom?" "Ellie, we're out," her mom said, her words slurred, panicked. "Landlord locked us out. I'm at a motel." "Your dad's?" "I don't know." "Get here." The line went dead, and Ellie stood there, frozen, the room tilting. Evicted. Not just moving, kicked out. She grabbed her backpack, stuffed in a hoodie, the $30, and bolted. The motel was a mile away, a dump with peeling paint and a buzzing sign. Her mom was in room 6, chain-smoking, her eyes hollow. "We're done, Ellie," she whispered, ash falling on the stained carpet. "All of it's gone." Ellie didn't reply, just sank onto the lumpy bed, her mind blank. She didn't sleep. Couldn't. The next day, she dragged herself to school, her mom's words looping in her head. The halls were quieter, the buzz fading, but her locker had a new gift, a motel key taped to it, fake plastic, with new digs scribbled on a sticky note. She ripped it off, her hands shaking, and headed for the library. Tommy was there, waiting, his face tightening when he saw her. "You look like hell," he said, blunt. "Evicted last night," she muttered, dropping into a chair. "Motel now." He winced, then leaned in. "We're ending this. Today. I've got a lead." She stared at him, her chest tight. "What lead?" He pulled out his phone again, showing a text from an unknown number. "Lucy's meeting someone at the park, noon. Cash involved." Ellie's blood ran cold. Cash. A payoff. "She's buying the pics," she whispered, the pieces clicking. Tommy nodded, grim. "Yeah. And we're gonna catch her." Episode 10, The Puppet Master. Ellie didn't have time to process the motel key or the sticky note stuck to her locker. She shoved them into her backpack, her hands trembling, and followed Tommy out of the library. The clock was ticking, Lucy's park meetup was at noon, less than an hour away. Her head buzzed with static, her mom's voice still echoing from last night. "We're done, Ellie. Done." The word felt final, a door slamming shut, but she couldn't think about that now. Tommy's lead was a lifeline, a chance to claw back some control. She clung to it, her sneakers scuffing the linoleum as they slipped out the school's side exit. The park was a 10-minute walk, cutting through back streets littered with fallen leaves and cracked sidewalks. Tommy led, his bike rattling beside him, his jaw tight. "Got the text this morning," he said, keeping his voice low. "Whoever's feeding Lucy, they're sloppy. Left their location on." Ellie nodded, her breath short. "You sure it's not a trap?" He glanced at her, his eyes steady. "Not sure of anything. But we're out of moves." She didn't argue. He was right, running blind was better than sitting still, waiting for the next hit. "Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me." They hit the park at 11:50, the air sharp with October chill. It was quiet, empty swings creaking, a few joggers circling the path. Tommy pointed to a cluster of trees near the picnic tables. "There. Good cover." They ducked behind the trunks, the bark rough against Ellie's palms, and waited. Her heart hammered, her hoodie damp with sweat despite the cold. At noon sharp, Lucy strolled in, her hair still perfect despite last night's water balloon chaos. She carried a purse, too small for books, too big for just keys. Cash, Ellie thought, her stomach twisting. Lucy stopped at a bench, checking her phone, her smirk faint but there. Then he showed up. Jake. Strutting across the grass, hands in his pockets, his grin wide and cocky. Ellie's breath caught, her nails digging into the tree. Tommy tensed beside her, whispering, "Son of a bitch." Jake sat next to Lucy, casual, like they were just chatting. She handed him an envelope, thin, white, stuffed, and he slipped it into his jacket, quick and smooth. They talked, heads close, Lucy laughing at something he said. Ellie's blood boiled, the pieces snapping into place. Jake. The pics, the taunts, the repo vid, it was him. He'd been watching her, feeding Lucy the ammo, cashing in on her collapse. She didn't think. She stepped out, her legs moving before Tommy could grab her. "Hey, assholes," she shouted, her voice raw, cutting through the park. Lucy's head snapped up, her smirk gone. Jake froze, the envelope half out of his pocket. Ellie stormed over, her fists clenched, Tommy scrambling behind her. "What the hell, Jake? You're selling my life to her," she spat, pointing at Lucy, who stood, her purse clutched tight. Jake laughed, nervous, standing too. "Ellie, chill. It's just business. You're the one who fell off the throne." She lunged, shoving him hard, his back hitting the bench. "Business? You filmed my dad's truck, my house, you're a fucking vulture." Lucy stepped between them, her voice sharp. "Back off, Ellie. You're the liar here, acting like you're still queen. We just showed the truth." Ellie turned on her, eyes blazing. "Truth? You paid for dirt, Lucy. That's not truth, that's a hit job." Tommy grabbed Ellie's arm, pulling her back. "Enough. They're caught. Let's go." But she shook him off, her chest heaving. "No. I'm done running." Kids were gathering now, phones out, the park turning into a stage. Ellie didn't care. She faced Jake, her voice loud, steady. "You've been jealous since day one, huh? Couldn't stand me having it all, so you tore it down. Pathetic." He smirked, but it wavered. "You tore yourself down, Ellie. I just cashed in." Lucy chimed in, smug. "And you made it so easy. Poor little princess, crying in her motel." The crowd gasped, whispers rippling, and Ellie's face burned. She stepped closer, her voice dropping low, dangerous. "Keep talking, Lucy. See how far it gets you." Tommy yanked her back again, harder this time. "Ellie, stop. They've got nothing left." She glared at him, then at Jake and Lucy, the envelope still in Jake's hand. She could have snatched it, could have fought, but what was the point? They'd won this round. She turned, shoving through the crowd, Tommy at her heels. Phones followed, voices buzzing, but she kept walking, her head high even as her legs shook. They made it to the street, the park fading behind them, and she stopped, her breath ragged. "He's the puppet master," she said, her voice breaking. Tommy nodded, grim. "Yeah. And he's not done." She didn't go home, couldn't face the motel, her mom's smoke-stained despair. They ended up at the diner again, splitting coffee this time, the steam curling between them. "Why me?" she asked, her hands wrapped around the mug. Tommy shrugged, his eyes on the window. "You were on top. He wanted that. Knocking you down made him feel big." She nodded, the coffee bitter on her tongue. "And Lucy?" Tommy smirked, faint. "She's just the megaphone. Jake's the brain." Ellie's phone buzzed, a new vid in the group chat, her shouting at Jake in the park, already captioned "Meltdown of the Year." She didn't watch it, just deleted it, her hands steady now. They sat there, the diner quiet, until her phone rang. Her mom again. "Ellie, get here. Cops are outside." "Your dad," the line cut, and Ellie's heart stopped. She looked at Tommy, her voice flat. "Gotta go. Shit's hitting the fan." He nodded, standing with her. "I'm in. Let's roll." She didn't argue. The spotlight was blinding, but she wasn't facing it alone. Episode 11, Allies and Ashes. Ellie didn't ask Tommy why he came with her. She didn't have the energy. Her mom's call had lit a fuse, and now she was racing toward the explosion, her sneakers pounding the pavement, Tommy's bike rattling beside her. The motel was a blur of neon and shadow when they got there, red and blue lights flashing across the lot. 2 cop cars sat crooked, doors open, radios crackling. Her mom stood outside room 6, arms wrapped tight around herself, cigarette trembling in her fingers. Ellie's stomach dropped. "Mom, what's happening?" she asked, her voice sharp, cutting through the noise. Her mom's eyes were wild, wet. "Your dad, he's gone, Ellie. Took off with the last of our cash. Cops say he's in trouble." Ellie froze, the words sinking in slow, heavy. "Gone. The cash, whatever scraps they'd scraped together, whatever hope they'd clung to, vanished with him. She glanced at Tommy, his face tight, but he didn't say anything, just stayed close. A cop approached, notepad out, his voice flat. "You're the daughter? We need to talk. Your father's wanted for check fraud. Skipped town this morning." Ellie's knees buckled, but she caught herself, nodding dumbly. "Yeah. Okay." Her mom sobbed, the cigarette falling to the asphalt, and Ellie turned away, her chest burning. She couldn't look at her. "Not now. Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me." Tommy pulled her aside, behind the motel's rusted dumpster, the cop's voice fading as he questioned her mom. "You good?" he asked, low, steady. She laughed, sharp and hollow. "No, Tommy, I'm not good. My dad's a thief, we're broke, and I'm living in this shithole." "You?" He didn't flinch, just nodded. "Been there. My folks split when I was 10. Dad ran too. Left us with nothing." She stared at him, the confession catching her off guard. "You're broke too?" He smirked, faint. "Yeah. Why do you think I don't care about their bullshit?" "I get it, Ellie." She didn't reply, just leaned against the wall, the brick cold through her hoodie. Allies in the ashes, funny how that worked. They didn't stay long. The cops left, her mom locked herself in the room, and Ellie couldn't breathe in that stale air. She and Tommy walked, no destination, just moving. The park vid was blowing up, she'd seen the notifications before shutting her phone off again. Her shouting at Jake, Lucy's smug face, the envelope. It was everywhere now, flipping the script. Comments piled up, Jake's a snake, Lucy's trash, Ellie's badass, and she didn't know what to feel. Vindicated, maybe. Exposed, definitely. "They're turning on him," Tommy said, scrolling his own cracked screen. "He's pissed. Check this." He showed her a text from the group chat, Jake's rant, "You're all sheep. She's still a liar." Ellie snorted. Let him squirm. School the next day was chaos. The halls buzzed, kids splitting into camps, some high-fived her, others glared. Jake wasn't there, hiding or suspended, she didn't know. Lucy strutted past, her smirk weaker, her crew quieter. Ellie kept her head up, Tommy at her side, a silent shield. She hit the cafeteria at lunch, ready for war, when Sarah appeared, her eyes red, her voice small. "Ellie, can we talk?" Ellie tensed, her jaw tight. "What's left to say, Sarah?" Sarah stepped closer, desperate. "I was wrong. I messed up bad, and I hate myself for it. Please, just, give me a chance." Ellie stared at her, the sting of betrayal still fresh, but Sarah's tears were real. She sighed, soft. "I don't know, Sarah. I need time." Sarah nodded, wiping her face. "Okay. I'll wait." She walked off, and Ellie felt the knot in her chest loosen, just a little. Tommy nudged her, nodding at the table. "She's legit sorry." "Up to you." Ellie shrugged, sitting. "Maybe. We'll see." They ate stolen fries from a kid who owed Tommy a favor, the normalcy weirdly grounding. Her phone buzzed, her mom this time. "Found a job. Cleaning. We'll be okay." Ellie stared at it, a flicker of hope sparking, then fading. Okay was a long way off, but it was something. She showed Tommy, and he grinned, rare and real. "Told you. You're not alone." She smirked back, faint. Yeah. Don't get cocky." The day dragged, but the tide was shifting. Kids whispered about Jake now, his cash grab, his jealousy. Lucy's shine dulled, her jabs ignored. Ellie felt the spotlight shift, the burn easing, but it wasn't over. She knew it in her gut. After school, she and Tommy hit the bleachers, their spot, the air crisp. "He's gonna hit back," she said, her voice low. Tommy nodded, kicking at the metal. "Yeah. But we've got leverage now. The vid's proof. She leaned back, staring at the sky. Proof's not enough. He's got nothing to lose. Tommy's eyes darkened. Then we make him lose more. They sat there, plotting in silence, the wind carrying the weight of what came next. Ellie's phone buzzed again, a new text, unknown number. Your dad's not the only runner. Watch your back. Her blood ran cold, her hands gripping the bleacher. Tommy saw it, his face hardening. Game's not over, he said, quiet. She nodded, her voice steady despite the chill. No. It's just starting. Episode 12, The Counterstrike. Ellie didn't show Tommy the text right away. She couldn't. The words, your dad's not the only runner. Watch your back, sat like ice in her gut, freezing her to the bleacher. She shoved her phone into her pocket, her hands clammy, and stared at the field, the grass patchy and gray under the fading light. Tommy was talking, something about hitting Jake where it hurt, but she barely heard him. Her dad was gone, the cash was gone, and now this, a threat, a riddle, a shadow she couldn't see. She nodded when he paused, faking it, her mind spinning too fast to keep up. They left the bleachers when the cold bit too deep, walking back to the motel in silence. Tommy didn't push, just watched her, his bike rattling beside them. She stopped at her corner, the neon sign buzzing overhead, and he looked at her, his eyes steady. You're quiet. What's up, Ellie? He asked, his voice low, cutting through the dusk. She hesitated, then pulled out her phone, showed him the text. His jaw tightened, his fingers brushing the screen. Shit. This is next level, he said, grim. She nodded, her throat tight. Yeah. I'm done being the target. Tommy smirked, faint. Then let's flip it. Go loud. Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me. The idea hit her hard, raw, and real. She'd been running, hiding, letting Jake and Lucy paint her as the victim. No more. She'd take the story back, own it, make them choke on it. That night, she sat on the motel bed, her mom snoring softly beside her, and opened her phone. The cracked screen glowed, the group chat still buzzing with the park vid, her shouting, Jake's smug face, Lucy's envelope. She didn't reply there. Instead, she opened Instagram, her old account, the one she'd abandoned when the money dried up. Her fingers shook as she typed, the words spilling out fast, honest, brutal. Hey, it's Ellie Hartman. Yeah, the princess. Truth time, my family's broke. House gone, car's gone, dad ran with what was left. I've been faking it, and you've all seen the fall. Jake Miller's been selling my shit to Lucy, cashing in on my crash. That vid? That's him caught red-handed. I'm not hiding anymore. This is me, motel room, $30, no throne. Laugh if you want, but I'm still here. She posted it, no filter, no edits, just her face in the dim motel light, eyes tired but hard. She tagged Jake, Lucy, the whole damn school. Then she waited, her heart pounding, the silence thick. Tommy texted her, quick. Badass. They're screwed now. She smirked, faint, and watched the likes roll in, 10, 50, 100. Comments flooded, holy shit, Ellie, you're a legend. Jake's trash. Lucy's done. Some were cruel, still a loser, but she let them slide. The tide was turning. School the next day was electric. Kids stared, some cheered, others whispered. Jake was there, finally, his face dark, his crew thin. He cornered her in the hall, his voice low, venomous. You think this changes anything, Ellie? You're still nothing. She stepped close, her eyes locked on his. And you're still a leech, Jake. Everyone knows it now. He flinched, backing off, the crowd parting around him. Lucy strutted by, her smirk gone, her eyes darting. Nice stunt, Ellie. Won't last, she said, sharp. Ellie shrugged, calm. Longer than your cash, Lucy. The cafeteria was a split stage. Half the tables clapped when she walked in, half glared. Sarah slid up, tentative, her voice soft. "That took guts, Ellie." "I'm proud." Ellie nodded, still wary. "Thanks. Still figuring you out." Sarah smiled, small, and left it there. Tommy joined her, fries in hand, grinning. "Told you. Leverage." She laughed, real this time, and stole a fry. "Yeah, you're not wrong." Her phone buzzed all day, followers spiking, messages piling up. Some kids apologized, some offered help, most just gawked. Then Lucy struck back. A new post, Ellie's Instagram vid, edited with clown music, caption "Cry harder, princess." It hit hard, comments split, Lucy's desperate. Ellie wins. She showed Tommy, her jaw tight. "She's doubling down." He nodded, grim. "Let her. She's sinking herself." Ellie hoped he was right, but the sting lingered, sharp and deep. After school, they hit the diner, splitting coffee again, the warmth grounding her. "What's the text mean, you think?" Tommy asked, his eyes on her. She sighed, the ice in her gut thawing slow. "Dunno. Dad's gone, but someone else running?" "No clue." He leaned back, thinking. "We'll watch. You're not alone, remember?" She nodded, the words steadying her, but the shadow loomed. Her mom texted then, "First paycheck in. Rent's covered." Ellie smiled, faint, showing him. "One win," she said. He grinned. More coming. The day faded, but the buzz didn't. Her post was everywhere, Jake and Lucy scrambling, her truth loud. She'd flipped the game, but that text, "Watch your back," hung heavy, a thread she couldn't pull yet. She walked back to the motel, Tommy's bike rattling beside her, the night cold but alive. She wasn't done fighting. Episode 13, Tangled Lies. Ellie woke up to the motel's thin walls shaking, her mom banging around in the tiny bathroom, getting ready for her cleaning shift. The room smelled like stale smoke and cheap coffee, the kind her mom brewed in a cracked mug on the rickety nightstand. Ellie rolled over, her phone buzzing under the pillow, the cracked screen glowing with notifications. Her Instagram post was still rippling, likes, comments, shares piling up, a mix of cheers and cheap shots. She didn't scroll, just let it hum, the noise a strange comfort. Her mom poked her head out, her voice rough. "Ellie, I'm out. Lock the door. Don't wait up." Ellie nodded, mumbling, "Got it," and watched her shuffle off, the weight of survival heavy in her steps. She dragged herself to school, the $30 still in her pocket, her hoodie a second skin now. The halls were alive, the buzz sharper today, kids glancing her way, some with nods, others with smirks. Her post had shifted the ground, but not everyone was on her side. Jake's absence lingered, a ghost in the chatter, and Lucy strutted like she hadn't lost a step, her crew trailing tight. Ellie hid her locker, half expecting another taunt, but it was clean, no notes, no toys, just the dented metal staring back. She exhaled, small relief, and headed to class. "Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me." First period was quiet until Tommy slid into the seat beside her, his eyes dark. "Got something," he whispered, leaning close. She frowned, her pulse kicking up. "What?" He slipped her a folded paper, no sharp handwriting, just his messy scrawl. "Lucy's lying. Paid Jake to plant the motel key." Ellie's stomach dropped, her fingers tightening on the note. "Plant it? You mean," he nodded, grim. "Yeah. That key on your locker? Staged. She's spinning it like you're crashing harder than you are." Ellie's head spun, the lie tangling with the truth. She'd owned the motel in her post, but Lucy was twisting it, faking proof to keep her down. She didn't wait for lunch. She found Lucy in the hall, mid-laugh with her crew, and stepped up, her voice loud, steady. "Lucy, you're a shitty liar. That key? Nice touch, But Jake's not here to back your play. Lucy's smirk faltered, her eyes darting. What are you babbling about, Ellie? You're the one living in a dump, she snapped, sharp. Ellie laughed, cold. Yeah, I am. Didn't need you to fake it for me. How much did you pay him to tape that key? The crowd shifted, whispers rippling, and Lucy's face tightened. You're delusional, she hissed, but her crew stepped back, uncertain. Tommy appeared, casual, his voice cutting in. Heard it from Jake's buddy. $50. Cheap move, Lucy. She glared at him, then stormed off, her heels clicking, the lie unraveling fast. Ellie didn't feel the win. Not yet. She and Tommy hit the cafeteria, splitting fries again, the buzz around them shifting, Lucy's shine cracking, Jake's name mud. Sarah slid up, her eyes soft. Saw that. You're killing it, Ellie, she said, tentative. Ellie nodded, still guarded. Trying. You good? Sarah smiled, small. Yeah. Still waiting. She left, and Tommy nudged Ellie, smirking. She's solid. Give her time. Ellie shrugged, chewing slow. Maybe. The day dragged, the high fading, until her phone rang after school. Unknown number. She answered, weary, her voice flat. Yeah? A man's voice, rough, familiar. Ellie, it's me. Her dad. Her heart stopped, her grip tightening. Dad? Where the hell are you? She hissed, stepping away from Tommy, who watched, tense. I messed up, kid. Took the cash, thought I could fix it. I can't. I'm sorry. His words slurred, heavy with regret, and Ellie's chest burned. Fix it? You ran. Mom's killing herself to keep us going, and you're what, drunk somewhere? He sighed, long and broken. I know. I'm coming back. Got a lead on some money. Real this time. Just, don't hate me. The line went dead, and she stood there, shaking, the phone slipping in her hand. Tommy stepped up, his voice low. Your dad? She nodded, her throat tight. Yeah. Says he's coming back. Took our last cash and ran. Now he's got a lead. Tommy's jaw clenched, his eyes dark. You believe him? She laughed, bitter. No. But what choice do I have? He didn't answer, just stayed close, the silence heavy. They walked to the field, the bleachers their anchor, and sat, the wind sharp. He's the runner from the text, she said, quiet, the pieces clicking. Tommy frowned. Maybe. Or someone's playing you both. She stared at him, the doubt creeping in. Who'd know he ran? Her phone buzzed again, group chat this time. A new vid, shaky, dark, her dad's pickup, parked outside a dive bar, him stumbling out, bottle in hand. Caption from Lucy, like father, like daughter. Ellie's breath caught, her hands cold. How, she whispered, showing Tommy. He cursed, low. Someone's still watching. Not Jake, he's out. Lucy's got another source. Ellie's head pounded, the lies tangling tighter. Her dad, back or not, was a bomb, and someone was lighting the fuse. She leaned back, the metal cold against her spine, and stared at the sky. I'm done guessing, she said, her voice hard. Tommy nodded, fierce. Then we find them. Episode 14, Breaking Free. Ellie didn't sleep much after her dad's call. The motel bed creaked under her, the thin blanket scratchy, her mom's snores a jagged rhythm in the dark. That vid, her dad stumbling out of the bar, bottle swinging, played on loop in her head, Lucy's caption a knife twist. Like father, like daughter. She wanted to scream, to smash something, but she just lay there, eyes burning, the cracked phone silent on the nightstand. Her dad said he was coming back, promised a fix, but his promises were dust now. She didn't believe him. Couldn't. Not after he'd run with their last dime. Morning came gray and heavy, the motel lot quiet except for a truck rumbling past. Her mom was gone, cleaning shift, and Ellie dragged herself up, the $30 still in her pocket, a stubborn lifeline. She hit school late, the halls half empty, the buzz muted. Her post had shifted things. Jake was a pariah, Lucy's shine fading, but that vid had clawed some ground back for them. Kids stared, whispers trailing her, a mix of pity and glee. She kept her hood up, her stride steady, and found Tommy at her locker, his face tight. "Saw the vid," he said, low. "Your dad?" She nodded, her jaw clenched. "Yeah." He called. "Says he's back soon." "I don't buy it." "Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me." Tommy leaned closer, his voice a whisper. "Lucy's got a new snitch. That bar's nowhere near here, someone tracked him." Ellie's stomach twisted, the truth sinking in. Her dad was a target now, same as her, and someone was feeding Lucy the shots. "We need to end this," she said, her voice hard. He nodded, grim. "Got a plan. Follow me." They skipped first period, slipping out to the field, the bleachers cold and damp. He pulled out his phone, showing a text, unknown number. "Lucy's bragging about a big drop tomorrow. Cafeteria." Ellie's pulse kicked up. "Another vid?" Tommy shrugged. "Maybe. Or worse. We hit first." The plan was simple, brutal, hers. She'd faced Jake one last time, not loud, not wild, just quiet, savage, and final. He was back today, skulking in the halls, his crew gone. She found him at lunch, alone at a corner table, his eyes darting when she walked up. "Ellie," he started, his voice sharp, but she cut him off, sitting across from him, her stare cold. "Shut up, Jake. You're done. Sold my life for $50, and now you're nothing. How's it feel?" He smirked, weak. "You're still the broke one, princess." She leaned in, her voice low, venomous. "Yeah, but I'm free. You're stuck being a rat. Enjoy the scraps." She stood, walked away, his silence loud behind her. Kids watched, phones down, the air shifting. She'd cut his strings, and he knew it. Lucy was next, but not yet. Ellie needed ammo. She and Tommy hit the library, digging through posts, texts, anything to trace the bar vid. Sarah found them there, her eyes soft, determined. "Ellie, let me help," she said, sitting close. Ellie tensed, still raw, but nodded. "Fine. Dig with us." Sarah smiled, small, and scrolled her phone, her fingers fast. "Found it," she said after 10 minutes, showing a blurry pic, Lucy at the park, not with Jake, but someone else, hoodie up, face hidden. Timestamp matched the bar vid's upload. "She's got a new shadow," Sarah whispered. Ellie's chest tightened. "Who?" Tommy frowned, zooming in. "Can't tell. But they're close." The day dragged, the plan simmering. Her mom texted, "Job steady. We're okay for now." Ellie exhaled, a flicker of light in the dark. She showed Tommy and Sarah, their nods quiet, solid. Allies, real ones. After school, they hit the diner, coffee split 3 ways, the air warm with grease and hope. "Tomorrow," Ellie said, her voice steady. "Lucy's drop. We're ready." Tommy grinned, fierce. "She's toast." Sarah squeezed her hand, tentative. "We've got you." Ellie squeezed back, the wall between them cracking, not gone, but thinner. Night fell, and she walked back to the motel alone, Tommy and Sarah splitting off. The lot was quiet, her mom's snores greeting her as she slipped in. She sat on the bed, her phone buzzing, a new text, unknown again. "He's back. Check the lot." Her heart stopped. She crept to the window, peering through the grimy blinds. Her dad's pickup sat there, dented, dirty, him slumped in the driver's seat, head down. She didn't move, didn't breathe, just watched. He didn't knock, didn't call, just sat, a shadow of the man he'd been. She let the blinds fall, her hands cold. He was back, but not for her. Not yet. She lay down, the ceiling staring back, her mind racing. Lucy's drop tomorrow, her dad outside, the mystery snitch, tangled threads she'd cut loose, one by one. She wasn't the princess anymore, wasn't the victim. She was Ellie, raw and real, breaking free. Sleep came slow, but it came, the fight fueling her dreams. Episode 15, The Final Thread. Ellie woke to the sound of gravel crunching under tires, her dad's pickup pulling out of the motel lot before dawn broke. She didn't move, just lay there, the thin blanket twisted around her legs, her eyes tracing cracks in the ceiling. He hadn't knocked, hadn't called, just showed up and left, a ghost with a guilty engine. Her mom slept through it, her snores steady, oblivious. Ellie's phone buzzed on the nightstand, the cracked screen glowing. A text from him, short, shaky. Found cash. Coming back tonight. Promise. She stared at it, her chest tight, hope and doubt wrestling in the dark. She didn't reply, just deleted it, the weight of his promises too familiar, too hollow. School loomed, the day heavy with Lucy's promised drop. Ellie dragged herself up, her hoodie stiff with yesterday's sweat, the $30 still in her pocket, unspent, a stubborn anchor. She met Tommy and Sarah at the diner first, the three of them splitting coffee, the steam curling in the cold morning air. He was there last night, Ellie said, her voice low, flat. Dad. Left before I could see him. Sarah's eyes softened, her hand hovering like she wanted to touch Ellie's. You okay? Ellie shrugged, sipping the bitter brew. Doesn't matter. Today's about Lucy. Tommy nodded, fierce. We've got her. She's done. Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me. They hit school together, a quiet trio, the halls buzzing with anticipation. Lucy's big drop, everyone knew something was coming, the cafeteria the stage. Ellie felt the stares, the whispers, but her spine was steel now, her hood down for once. She'd owned her truth, and they couldn't touch her with it anymore. Lunch rolled around, and the room crackled, kids clustering, phones ready. Lucy strutted in, her smirk sharp, a USB drive dangling from her fingers like a trophy. Hey, everyone, she called, climbing onto a table, her voice loud. Got a little show for you. Ellie Hartman, unplugged. Ellie stood, slow, Tommy and Sarah flanking her. She didn't flinch, just watched, her heart steady. Lucy plugged the drive into a kid's laptop, the screen flickering to life. A vid, grainy, dark, her dad at the bar, then cutting to Ellie at the motel, pacing outside, her face tired, raw. Voiceover, Lucy's, smug. Royalties fallen, folks. Daddy's a drunk, daughter's a wreck. The room gasped, laughed, a few cheered. Ellie stepped forward, her voice cutting through. Nice edit, Lucy. Too bad it's old news. I already told them I'm broke. Try harder. Lucy's smirk wavered, the crowd shifting, uncertain. Tommy jumped in, loud, clear. She paid for that, you know. Jake's out, so she got a new snitch. Who's the wreck now? Sarah held up her phone, the park pic, Lucy with the hooded figure. Caught her. She's the one buying lies. The room erupted, kids turning on Lucy, her face paling. That's bullshit, she snapped, but her voice cracked, and the USB clattered to the table. Ellie walked up, close, her eyes locked on Lucy's. You're done, Lucy. Nobody cares about your trash anymore. She turned, the crowd parting, cheers following her out, Tommy and Sarah at her heels. They hit the field after, the bleachers cold, the victory quiet. She's toast, Tommy said, grinning. Sarah nodded, her hand brushing Ellie's. You were amazing. Ellie smirked, faint. We were. Thanks. Sarah smiled, real, and the wall between them crumbled, not gone, but dust. Her phone buzzed, her mom. He's here. With money. Come home. Ellie's breath caught, showing them. Tommy frowned. Trap? She shook her head. Maybe. Gotta see. She left them at the field, the walk to the motel fast, her pulse racing. Her dad's pickup sat there, him leaning against it, a duffel at his feet. Her mom stood nearby, arms crossed, wary. Ellie stopped, her voice sharp. What's this, Dad? He looked up, his eyes red, tired. Ellie, I screwed up. Ran, panicked. Found a guy owed me from years back. Paid up. $5,000. He nudged the duffel, cash spilling out, crumpled bills. Her mom gasped, soft. Ellie stared, her chest tight. You think this fixes it? He shook his head, slow. No. But it's a start. I'm staying. For real. She didn't hug him, didn't cry, just nodded, the weight shifting, not gone, but lighter. They went inside, the three of them, the motel door shutting soft. Later, she texted Tommy and Sarah, he's back. Cash too. We'll see. They replied fast, hell yeah. You're good. She smiled, small, and lay back, the day sinking in. Lucy was out, her dad was here, the truth hers. But that text, watch your back, lingered, a thread she couldn't cut. Not yet. Episode 16, Echoes of Truth. Ellie didn't trust the quiet. Not after everything, the motel room felt too small with her dad back, the duffel of cash sitting like a bomb on the chipped table. $5,000 sounded like a lot, but it wasn't a fix, not really. Her mom hovered, her hands shaky as she counted bills, her voice low, hopeful. We can get a place, Ellie. Something better, she said, glancing at her dad. He nodded, his face worn, his eyes avoiding hers. Yeah. Fresh start, he mumbled, but the words felt flimsy, a promise stretched thin. Ellie sat on the bed, her hoodie bunched around her, the $30 still in her pocket, unspent. She didn't reply, just watched them, the air thick with what they weren't saying. School was a victory lap she didn't feel. Lucy's drop had flopped, her vid laughed off, her crew scattered, her shine gone. Kids high-fived Ellie in the halls, her post a legend now, Jake a ghost. She kept her head up, her stride steady, but the weight lingered. Tommy met her at her locker, his grin faint. You did it, Ellie. They're done, he said, leaning close. She smirked, small. Yeah. Doesn't feel done. He nodded, his eyes sharp. That text. Your dad. Something's off. She didn't argue, couldn't. The echo of watch your back hummed in her bones. Please, pause the video here and hit that like button. I'd be so grateful for a comment too. Means the world to me. Lunch was loud, the cafeteria buzzing, Sarah sliding in beside her, her smile soft. You're a badass, Ellie. Everyone's talking, she said, her hand brushing Ellie's arm. Ellie nodded, warmer now, the wall between them gone. Thanks, Sarah. You too. They ate fries Tommy snagged from a kid who owed him, the three of them a unit, solid. Her phone buzzed, her mom again. Apartment's ours. Moving tomorrow. Ellie showed them, her chest loosening, a real step forward. Tommy grinned, fierce. Told you. You're climbing. Sarah squeezed her hand, and Ellie let her, the fight easing, just a little. After school, they hit the field, the bleachers their anchor, the wind cold but alive. He's hiding something, Ellie said, her voice low, staring at the grass. Dad. That cash, it's too clean. Tommy kicked at the metal, his jaw tight. Yeah. Guys like that don't just stumble into $5,000. Sarah frowned, soft. Maybe he's trying, Ellie. Give him a shot? Ellie snorted, bitter. Shots get you burned. But I'll watch. They sat there, the sky graying, the quiet heavy with what she couldn't name. She walked back to the motel alone, Tommy and Sarah splitting off, the dusk settling fast. Her dad was outside when she got there, leaning on the pickup, a cigarette glowing between his fingers. "Ellie," he said, his voice rough, standing straight. "We're good now, right?" She stopped, her eyes hard. "Are we?" "Where'd the cash come from, Dad?" He flinched, his hand dropping. "Old debt. Guy owed me. Paid up." She stepped closer, her voice low, steady. "Bullshit. You ran. You don't get clean slates that easy." He stared at her, his face cracking, then sighed. "You're right. It's complicated. But I'm here. That's what counts." She didn't push, didn't trust, just nodded and went inside. Her mom was packing, boxes stacked, the duffel empty now, the cash tucked away. "He's trying, Ellie," her mom said, soft, pleading. Ellie shrugged, her throat tight. "Maybe. We'll see." She helped pack, the motions automatic, her mind spinning. Night fell, and she lay on the bed, her phone silent for once, the buzz gone. Sleep came slow, her dad's complicated looping, a thread she couldn't pull loose. Morning brought the move, small apartment, 1 bedroom, a step up from the motel's grime. Her mom smiled, real, and her dad hauled boxes, quiet, steady. Ellie watched him, the cash's shadow lingering, but she let it sit. School after was normal, Lucy ignored, Jake a whisper, her trio tight. She walked home with Tommy, Sarah peeling off, the streets quiet. "You good?" he asked, his bike rattling. She nodded, faint. "Yeah. Not rich, not broken. Just, here." He smirked, warm. "Good enough." They parted at her corner, the new keys jangling in her pocket, a weight she could carry. Inside, her dad was on the couch, a beer in hand, his eyes distant. "Ellie," he said, soft, as she passed. "I'm sorry. For all of it." She stopped, her chest tight, and nodded. "Prove it," she said, her voice firm, and went to her room, a corner with a mattress, hers. Her phone buzzed, one last text, unknown. "He's not clean. Dig deeper." Her blood chilled, her hand gripping the screen. She didn't reply, just stared, the truth echoing, unfinished. Her dad's past, the cash, the runner, secrets still buried, questions unanswered. She wasn't rich, wasn't broken, just real. And the fight wasn't over. Thank you for listening to this incredible story. Our team would really appreciate it if you give us a like and comment. Your opinion is very important to us. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. See you soon.